mom and dad. My name is Lane and I'm your nurse, and I'm going to show you how to give your newborn baby a bath when you get home, okay? So the first thing that I'm gonna do is show you some of the supplies that you're gonna need. So I have baby here and I have baby laying down on a nice warm towel. I've got another dry towel. I've got a couple of rags, just in case. We're gonna use a couple of them. I've got a nice tub of warm soapy water. I've got a cup of warm water. And then you could also use a squirt bottle too. So you can either use a squirt bottle or a cup, just depending on what works best for you, so you can kind of see how I use it. I've got some nice baby soap here, and I've also got a cap for baby, just to keep baby warm, okay? Because some things to consider when you're going to be giving your newborn a bath is that they are going to lose a lot of heat very easily through evaporation. So when the baby's wet, they're going to get a lot colder than we would if we were wet. So we want to make sure that we keep them nice and warm the entire time, okay? And then another thing to think of is to make sure that you are supporting your baby very carefully when you're giving your baby a bath. Make sure you're holding your baby's head up, and then never leave your baby alone, obviously, when you're giving the baby a bath. So if you need to go do something, make sure that you bring your baby with. So, another thing to think about too is that if you're gonna give your baby a bath like in a baby tub or in the sink, just be careful because your baby might be wet and slippery. So you just want to be really careful, especially with your baby's head, and your baby's gonna have those soft spots. So, hold on a second. Okay, so the first step that we're gonna do is we're gonna just make sure that we remember to keep as much as we can covered of the baby. We wanna be in a nice warm room when we're doing this, so that we can make sure that we don't, our baby doesn't lose too much heat. Okay, so we are gonna make sure we check our water temperature so that it's warm but not too hot. And then the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start at the cleanest part of the baby, and then we're gonna work our way to the dirtiest part. So we're gonna start with the baby's head, and particularly the baby's eyes. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this warm with nice warm water and no soap, okay, on the baby's face. We don't wanna irritate the baby's face. So this is gonna be all wet with some warm water, and we're just gonna start by rubbing, gently rinsing the baby's eyes like this, gently wiping its mouth and face. Okay, and then you wanna make sure that you pay attention to the creases of your baby, because your baby's might be a cute little chunky baby with some creases. So make sure that you get into the creases and get that all cleaned up. And also when you're doing that, you can check for any signs of irritation or rashes on your baby. So you want to check anything that's creased up, okay? All right, so after you wipe the baby's face, we can get some warm soapy water, okay? And then we can gently wash the baby's hair. Now you want to keep in mind that you're going to have some soft spots on your baby's head. So just be gentle, but you can still, get a decent amount of wash in there, because you don't want to get any type of cradle cap or any dry skin, okay? So then you can wash that up really good. And then to rinse, you can either just rinse right on your towel like this, or you can rinse with a squirt bottle, or some mom and dads even just use warm water. Make sure you check the water first, and then rinse right underneath the sink. And just be really careful for your baby's eyes. Make sure that you dry each area as good as you can before you move to the next area, so that your baby's not wet or cold. Okay, so you can keep going with the warm soapy water on the rest of the body. We're gonna skip the diaper area, but make sure you wipe everything really good. Sorry. Wipe everything really good, and then dry it off as you go. Okay, so wipe one arm and then dry that off as you go. Okay, and then if your baby feels cold, you can always put the towel right on. Okay, while you're working with something else. Okay, so the last thing you're gonna do is the diaper area, and so you can get some warm soapy water. Make sure you gently wash front to back with the diaper area, and make sure that you get their bottom. Check for any signs of rash, and then dry that all up. Make sure there's no soap left on your baby. And then afterwards, wrap them up nice and warm. Place a cap on their head so that they don't lose any body heat. They can lose a lot of heat through their heads especially. So you want to make sure that they stay nice and dry. And then you can pick your baby up, put a nice dry diaper on your baby, and you're all done.